Welcome to the Parsha Perspective. Each week, we will delve deep in a weekly Torah portion to find a practical and insightful way to enhance your daily life. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Shalom Yamini. Each week, we will look into the weekly Torah portion to find inspiration that will complement your daily life and intensify your connection to God. This month of the Parsha Perspective is being sponsored by Anonymous in honor of the Jewish people and the land of Israel. May Hashem protect our soldiers, and may the Jewish people only experience success, health, and prosperity. This month of the Parsha Perspective is also sponsored by Eliyahu Or Ben Chana in honor of Yud Shvat, the Rebbe, and the work of Lubavitch worldwide. May Hashem continue to give happiness, health, and success to all the Jewish people. If you or someone you know would like to sponsor a month of the Parsha Perspective, please contact us at our Facebook page, The Parsha Perspective. This week's Torah portion is Parshas Yisro. It is one of the most, if not the most important portions in the entire Torah. God Himself gives us the Ten Commandments and tells us that we are His chosen nation and proclaims us to be a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. The Jewish people had to prepare themselves for 3 days before accepting the Torah. And on the third day, thunder and lightning and a cloud of glory surrounded the top of Mount Sinai. The Jewish nation trembled in fear as God descended upon the mountain. When Moshe made his way to the top of the mountain, God Himself spoke to the frightened Jewish people. He began to relay the 10 Commandments, giving the Jewish nation their mission in this world. The Jewish nation were left traumatized by the overwhelming revelation of God and His holiness. They asked Moshe if he could be their intermediary between them and God, because their physical bodies could not handle the spirituality of being spoken to by God Himself. This episode was one of the most physical revelations of God ever to happen in this world, and yet the name of this key Parsha is that of an idol worshiper, Yisro. What did Yisro do that was so special that his name is placed upon the most important Parsha in the entire Torah? The first pasuk of this week's Parsha states that Yisro, head priest of Midian, heard what God had done for the Jewish nation, and therefore he decided to convert and join the Jewish people. He took his daughter, who was Moshe's wife, his grandkids, and made his way to unite with the Jewish nation. When he arrived, he was greeted by Moshe and his brother Aaron, who recounted the miraculous stories of the exodus from Egypt, the crossing of the Sea of Reeds, and winning the battle with the Amaleki people. Yisro then thanked the HaKadosh Baruch Hu for saving the Jewish people, admitting that He is the one and only God. As Yisro began to settle in with the Jewish way of life, he observed that Moshe would sit for hours and answer the most mundane of questions that could have been solved by his brother Aaron or other learned people, and consequently did not allow for Moshe himself to study Torah. Furthermore, this took time away from leading the Jewish people as a whole, not just the ones that came to ask questions. So Yisro respectfully offered his advice to Moshe, telling him to appoint judges who will lead a group of people and will answer any of their questions. But if there's a significant issue that could not be resolved by these leaders, then it will be brought before Moshe. Moshe heeded his father-in-law's advice and appointed judges who could resolve most of the problems the Jewish people had and helped him lead the Jewish nation. Yisro was responsible for the complete revolution of the Jewish court system to what it is today. By being an outsider and completely changing his life from serving idols to serving God, he was given the ability to help Moshe lead the Jewish nation properly and ultimately transform the Jewish way of life. Therefore, Yisro merited that his name be placed upon the most important of Torah portions, because even as an outsider, he was able to thoroughly alter his life in service of God, to the extent that he was able to help Moshe lead the Jewish nation and change the way we use rabbis and the Jewish court systems today. In our daily life, even if you are a novice or inexperienced in a job or a field, you do not only have the ability to just stand by and meagerly assist a situation, but rather you are capable of transforming it entirely. By humbling yourself to learn and study all that there is to know, you can positively influence the situation at hand and perhaps even completely alter it. For it takes a knowledgeable outsider to see what's wrong with the current conditions, and they come up with ways to modify it for the better or change it entirely. There's a great quote that I once heard. Remember that you do not know the limits of your own abilities. Successful or not, if you're pushing beyond yourself, you will enrich your own life and maybe others as well. Have a great weekend and good Shabbos. Thank you for tuning in to the Parsha Perspective. Check out our website, theparshaperspective.com. Send thoughts and comments to theparshaperspective@gmail.com. Till next time, thanks for listening.